Well, this is yet another cybercrime accusation traded by the West and Russia. Emily Taylor joins us now from Oxford. Emily is Associate Fellow at Chatham House's International Security Program. She specializes in cybercrime. Emily, it's good to have you on the day. Let's be a detective for a moment. The UK did not say that the hackers stole information or that they hindered vaccine research. Is it plausible that we're talking about the Russians just spying in the true sense, just watching and listening?
Well, you're right. I haven't seen any information to suggest that data was exfiltrated or stolen. The emphasis in today's announcement has been quite a confident attribution of these cyber attacks to this group, Cozy Bear, or APT29 as they're called, in language you don't normally associate with the intelligence services. So hard to know at this stage whether it was just simply sitting on the networks, looking at what was going on and gathering data, or a mass hack and leak operation as was done in the 2016 run-up to the US elections with the Democratic National Committee.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. The UK named Russian intelligence and Cozy Bear today in this report. How difficult is it to be able to name and shame when you're on a cybercrime trail like this?
Well, attribution is difficult, but it's not impossible, especially when you have the resources of the US, Canadian and British intelligence services. If they're attributing with this level of confidence and also making the connection between this outfit Cozy Bear and the Russian intelligence services, that's quite unusual. Normally, the language is much more, we say with a high degree of confidence type of thing, but here they're coming right out of it. And I see this as part of a strategy. You can get the attribution yourself, and then it's another strategic decision about whether you announce it publicly. And in doing so and standing side by side with other allies, this is an approach that we've seen over the last 2 years, trying to perhaps raise the reputational costs to states like Russia of doing this kind of activity.
And if you do have the resources, the power of the UK, the US, and Canada here, able to track these hackers, trace them, shouldn't we also expect more in terms of shielding and pushing back attempted attacks or attempted, espionage in cyberspace?
Well, this is the other part of today's announcement that's very important, is that the detailed report actually contains a lot of code where the National Cybersecurity Centre are actually saying to organisations who might have been affected by these cyber attacks, this is what you need to run, this is what you need to look for. So there are two parts. There's the sort of attribution, but also trying to make these organisations safer. There's also a checklist of, how to protect yourselves, because yes, we should all protect ourselves against these attacks, but unfortunately it's not down to one party. The state can't do it all on its own. It's up to every single user of these technologies that we're relying on so much, and particularly during the lockdown, to do that little bit. The saddening thing for this is that a lot of the exploits are quite old, and that if people have patched their equipment and taken some fairly straightforward steps, they could be safer.
Final question for you, Emily. It's frustrating sometimes to hear that the government saying national elections were targeted, but we rarely hear a follow-up. Did the cyber meddling change the course of an election? Why is that?
I think because, elections are a democratic process in which multiple factors affect the way people vote. I mean, even where you have a marginal result like the US presidential elections in 2016, there was never really any question of rerunning the event afterwards. The 2019 elections in the UK were something of a landslide, and so you had a very clear democratic outcome. There's lots and lots of arguments around that, but I think in the end there's so much more in a democracy, when it comes to a large-scale election like that, you can't really pinpoint a win or loss to one single factor.
Emily Taylor with Chatham House's International Security Program. Emily, we appreciate your time and your insights tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.